Hi there, Facebook family. It's Dawn coming to you live from Sedona. Let me fix my little headset here. So, we're back from our trip to the airport. My son is off and on his way back home, and I am back to Command Central here in my office. And I'm coming to you today with a dreamy card. In fact, the name of the card is Dream. So our card for the day is the Seven of Cups. And the key word here is dream. Hi, Leslie. Welcome. Hi. Good to see you. Or sort of. You're seeing me. I see your name. Okay, so the Seven of Cups. Let's talk about this. There's a lot I could say about this, and so I'm going to be tuning into my right brain, dream state brain, for part of it. But I'll start today with the logical component. So the logical component, let's look at the number 7, and we'll also look at the suit. The suit is cups. So the number 7 typically suggests something that is not quite ripe, not quite ready, or not well enough planned out, thought out, prepared. It's the period of time before manifestation or before action or before the birth of something, before full fruition, if you will. So that's a typical way that you can look at the number 7, specifically with regard to the 4 suits in the tarot deck. Now, 7 can also indicate spiritual development, spiritual teachers, or the sensitive empath types. So there's also a layer there of that with the 7. Now, the cups have to do with your emotions, your intuition, your inner guidance. And so, therefore, hi, Susan, welcome. And so, therefore, when you have the 7 of Cups, you could see how that could connect with the dreamer or the dream. So again, 7 is the number in the tarot where things aren't quite ready to come to form yet. Yeah, yay, me too, Susan. Happy as well. So 7 is the number when things are not quite ready for fruition, manifestation, or action. Cups are emotion, feeling, intuition, inner guidance, anything that has to do with the watery or dreamlike realms. So when you put the 7 and the cups together, one way of looking at it is dream state. When you're still dreaming the dream before you're ready to take action on bringing it forth into form. And in this card, you can see that he's sort of being inspired by that magical heavenly muse who's dropping these little red drops of inspiration his way for his mind to catch them. You can see he's got a feather pen here and his writing material here. Okay, so he's in the dreaming or the receptive state, and so that's a very 7 of Cups. The high side of the 7 of Cups, the powerful side of it, is when we allow ourselves to drop out of the left brain rational mind and into the right brain receptivity to let the muse inspire us so that we can dream and create and be in that imaginal or imaginative state. So that's the bright side of it, or the power side of it, the light side of it. The other side of that coin, because every card, just like every astrological sign or symbol, all of that has a shadow side as well. The shadow side is when all we do is dream and we never bring it to form. So in one deck, which deck? It might be the last deck I used to work with, the Osho Zen. I'm not sure. The 7 of Cups is called indolence. It's when you overindulge in the emotions, the feelings, or also even just the senses. Or you stay in the dreamer state and never take action. So indolence is appropriate because it's kind of like you just like, yeah, well, I'm not done chilling out yet. I think I'll just chill out for another decade. And And not to make it that sarcastic, but one of the ways this manifests in our world today, actually it manifests quite too often, is that people are so busy in their lives. They're so in struggle. They're so locked into their job, their work, their family, their responsibilities, their debt, their financial burdens overall, all of that, that the aspirations, hopes, and visions for their lives remain as dreams. And I cannot tell you how many times I have heard from people how lucky I am that I get to live this amazing life. And I say, it is not luck. I took a lot of action once I received the divine downloads of what to do. So, and sometimes I made mistakes along the way. This is the other thing that can keep us locked in the dream state. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of making mistakes. And this is a really intense fear for a lot of people. And it sadly has a lot to do with the way many of us are raised, that we make the slightest error as children and we're smacked or yelled at or criticized or insulted, or in school or shamed. All of this old mindset of how to raise children or treat children or treat our peers. Of course, that's part of what those of us who are awakening are doing, is beginning to create new ways of parenting, raising kids, education, all of that. And where does it come from? It comes from receiving the divine download, the divine upgrades, and then taking action and bringing forward our dreams into manifestation. So if you are a person who has had and held in your heart or your mind, your vision, sweet dreams that you have not manifested, then it's a good idea to look at what is holding me back. Now, there's a distinction, and it's an important one. We don't want to take action too soon. When you take action too soon, then you can find yourself putting your proverbial ladder up against the wrong building. I hope that makes sense. Let me give you a personal illustration that maybe will help. So when I first shifted from being a professional journalist to the internet marketing world, that was okay, because what I did was I learned how to make mistakes fast, so that you could not waste a lot of money, and so that you can go on to the next thing. And that all is good and well to some degree. When you're doing things and you're running a company and you've got product and program and you're going to try things out and you've got some money to spare on that. But I took that idea, and when I went into getting trained in coaching, I spent a lot of money to grow my business, to get mentorship and training, and a lot of it was valuable. But some of the coaches that I chose were really into that sort of law of attraction, get friggin' as rich as you possibly can, as fast as you possibly can, and just shove everyone out of your way who's in your way. And it was a very aggressive way of developing a coaching business. Of course, it ended up not working at all for me because it was so inauthentic to me. So what was happening was, because I was new and I didn't understand, I was taking action before the dream could fully form within. Why? Because I had a fire under my backside, because I had spent so much money on these super expensive coaches who promised me the moon and delivered very little, but basically stuck a cattle prod to my backside saying, go out there and sell, go out there and sell, go out there and sell. I don't care what you're offering, just sell. So I went into action mode before I could actually conceive a sweet dream that I could stand behind, that I could embody, that I could resonate with. In the long run, because I had a lot of skills and a lot of knowledge, I did help people. So, knock on wood, thank you, divine, I was able to be of service. And I suffered a lot. I suffered a lot because I didn't know what I was offering, and when I did know, it wasn't aligned with who I really was, because who I really was wasn't yet fully dropped into my being. And So I ended up being this hardcore marketing strategist and all this stuff. And like I said, I helped people for sure, but it was like tooth and nail every day of sort of joyless toil. That, in fact, that's what I used to say, joyless toil. So that's the shadow side of taking action before the dream is formed, before you're really in that sense of connection with the vision, and you feel that moment of, it's like, okay, action, now is the time. Now the other side, of course, of that is when you never take action at all. And that's what I started this conversation with. When the fear of making a mistake, when the fear of being wrong, when the fear of failure stymie your dreams, or when you are just so up to here with responsibility, financial burden, etc., that you just keeping it off, putting it off, someday, someday, someday. So none of these are resourceful ways of dealing with manifestation or actually integrating dream. The way to really do the Seven of Cups, the dream state, is to give yourself, hi Marie, welcome, is to give yourself permission to dream, first of all, with the recognition that there will be a time when it's time to take action on that dream. And there's a darn good chance there'll be something a little bit scary about it, because that's the nature of growing and stretching ourselves. There's a saying that I say, and I've probably said it in these before, which is, your comfort zone is not a destination. Your comfort zone is a resting place between periods of growth. And in those resting place periods is often when we create the stillness in order to receive the dreams and the guidance from our guides, our angels, our higher self. So when you are in a place where you're not go, 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 when you can rest, notice what you're doing with that time. Are you tuning into divine guidance? Are you meditating? Are you being creative? Are you allowing spaciousness for the muse to inspire you with dreams? And if you're not, why not? Because here's what I know for sure. We were not meant to come to this life to work in a freaking cubicle. We were not meant to come to this life to be mediocre. We were not meant to come to this life to live an ordinary existence without creative expression. Thanks for the love, Susan, and hi, Marie. We came to express, to create, to remember who we are as divine children of the universe, and to share our unique magnificence in whatever way we are moved to do that. So perhaps you're a writer like me. Perhaps you're a musician. Perhaps you're a magnificent designer of things. Perhaps you're an amazing cook. Perhaps you're a beautiful coach or teacher of some kind. Hey, Renee, hi. Perhaps your creativity comes with numbers. I find that numbers, maths, and sciences, they're really not my realm at all. But the people who are good at them are incredibly creative. Incredibly creative. Why? Because to find the answers to complex solutions, they have to tune in, relax their mind, and allow the muse to drop in and inspire them for the answers. This is one of the things that Einstein and some of our other great historic scientists have done. So creativity comes in as infinite forms as we do. Gardening can be one. Creating parties and experiences for people. Event planning. Events. Ceremony. That's another place where I'm super, super creative. Is teaching people how to do ceremony and also just hosting ceremonies. Journeying. You name it. There's just so many ways. Photography. It doesn't really matter what it is. What matters is this quality of creative inspiration. And so the trick, again, is to remember that your comfort zone is not a resting place. It's a period, it's a space for, or your comfort zone is not a destination. It's a resting place between periods of growth. And when you give yourself enough downtime to relax and you receive the download, the divine guidance, the spark of inspiration, Allow yourself to receive it. Allow it to percolate a little bit so that it can formulate into a vision or a sense of what needs to happen next. And then when you get that, take action. Because if you don't take action, all of your dreams will just sit and sit and sit on the shelf. And I'm telling you, and some of you on the call here will know and who watch later, none of us are getting any younger. And time, as my dear, dear Ajahn Chai used to say, time waits for no one. I truly believe that when the muse inspires us with a divine idea, or when we could say the divine inspires us, the divine also provides us with the resources and opportunities to make that dream a reality. However, we have to line up. We have to take action when the time is right. There's a saying that luck is the intersection of opportunity and preparedness. So if we sit like this fellow over here and dream and dream and dream and stack our cups and scribble in our journal or not, just receive the dreams and never do anything about it, we are not preparing for that opportunity. So I want to go back now for a moment to when I was sharing my story about coming into my coaching and leadership and all of that. So I said that I had invested a lot in coaching. I had chosen coaches who were like, do, take action. It doesn't matter what you're doing, just do. And it was in a lot of ways very painful. And painful in part because I spent so much money. So once you spend that, you spend we're talking tens of thousands of dollars in a shot. When you do that, you have to take action. And some of that action I took was premature. Some of it was the smart thing to do, absolutely. But here's the thing, even in the end, even though I sort of put my proverbial ladder up on the wrong building, the bottom line is I did take action. And because I was in momentum, when I was finally ready to give myself a little breather instead of being in panic all the time, guess what happened? The muse started redirecting me. My divine GPS started turning me back in the right direction I was supposed to go in the first place. So, no action ultimately is wasted, and no dream should be wasted. But when we receive the dreams and we let them sit on the shelves without taking action, they will be wasted because time waits for no one. You are here for a very important reason. There are many beings in the spirit world who would probably love to have a body and come in. So while you're here, what are you being called to create, to gift this world with, to leave as your legacy? You are not just an average person, and you are not here by accident. So, what is the sweet dream that you hold in your heart? And where are you in this journey of dreaming, receiving the guidance, creating the plan, and taking action? What have you learned of this process? So if you have any comments, any feedback, anything interesting to share, great, Susan. It's good to hear that it's a timely topic for you, and I would love to hear if anyone else is resonating with this message. If you have struggled in one way or another with this, like for example, have you dreamed and put it on the shelf because you're too busy and the years are flying by? Is that what's happening? Or are you taking massive action all the time and living in joyless toil because you're not actually letting yourself sit and receive? Are you receiving divine inspiration and struggling with figuring out how to actually take action on it? Like you're ready, you'd like to, but you just don't know what to do. I'd love to hear in your comments below. Please share your feedback. And again, as always, if you know someone who could really benefit from this message, or maybe just in your tribe or in your Facebook friends in general, please share this message. Please share this. All you have to do is hit share and share it on your own Facebook feed. Because what I found now over how long have I been doing this? End of January, February, March, April, 3.5 months. There have been a number of times where someone has shared my video and someone else out of the blue saw it that would not have seen it in my own newsfeed and reached out to me either personally or on in the feed below the video, expressing how beneficial the message was. So I ask you, please, if you value this message or if you feel anyone else could value from it, please share it. Share it on your Facebook page. And let me just take a moment here to check in and see, is there anything else that wants to come forward about dreaming, manifestation, taking action? I just know that we are in a time on the planet when everything is starting to change. And on the one hand, if you're living in the old model of the world, that old 3D model, it's so scary. It's so scary. People's jobs aren't secure. We're starting to see just how corrupt the governments of our world are, just how crazy the leaders are, just how vulnerable we all are. Our teens are struggling, our kids are struggling. I mean, there's just a lot, right? There's just a lot. That's one side of it. The other side of it, and I've said this before too, is that the high vibe tribe is awake. We are creating the new world, and we really are visioning something totally new. We are dreaming it into being and taking action to bring it into being. So if you are being called to a vision, no matter how big or small, I ask you to please trust it, listen to it, and take action when the time is right. There is more support now than there ever has been before for the new visions and the new earth to begin to emerge. Yes, we need allies. Yes, we still need to keep our day jobs. Yes, we need to keep our feet on the ground. And yes, we have to look at our own shadows, the places of our fear, of our self-judgment, of our doubts. All of that is part of it too. But there's lots of us out there to help. So reach out and trust that wild, crazy dream. We need your sweet vision. We need your imagination. We need your love and your heart to bring forward whatever it is you are being divinely called to bring forward. So with that, I will leave you for today. As always, with many bright blessings and much love until tomorrow.